सुप्रभात, सभी को मेरा नमस्कार, अभिनंदन, राधे राधे. I am coming from the Bridge Bhumi, so bringing blessings of the Lord Krishna for all of you. Very good morning to all the dignitaries on the dais and off the dais. The chief guest of the day, Dr. Alka Upadhyay ma'am, Dr. Abhijit Mitra, Farhad, Madam Reena, and Mika Pal, and all the dignitaries coming from the various sector, private, as well as from the foundation, the Bill Gates Foundation and others, and the farmers, especially the cave didis. आप सभी को मेरा बहुत बहुत नमस्कार. It's really a privilege to address this elite gathering on a subject that is both economically vital and culturally rooted, which has been already being explained by so many speakers before me, especially the goat sector in India. It's often referred to as a poor man's cow, but I'm always being against this one because this leads to the discrimination of the species which is being happening over there. And these humble goats, they play a crucial role in the livelihood of the 33 million farmers, particularly in the rural and the semi-arid region. Goat farming has various distinct socio-economic and technical advantages over and other livestock species. It has a low initial investment, low input demands, high prolificacy, an extended breeding season, preference for grazing on a wide array of plants, early sexual maturity, improved efficiency of the digestive crude fiber from the low-grade roughages, year-round market, ease of handling, enhanced adaptability to the climate stressors, especially that I usually call it a climate-resilient species, friendly to the women and the aged persons. Increased demand of the chivon throughout the year, as well as not in Indian domestic market, but in the international market also. And the risk mitigation, particularly in the rain-fed area. And the most important thing is the best suited commodity or the livestock species which can integrate with the other livestock species, maybe the poultry, maybe the cattle, or maybe the agroforestry models, or maybe the perennial trees and others. So all these led to the growth of the goat industry, goat sector. The goat sector has been grown by almost 215% from 1951. Presently, we are having around 149 million goats are being there and producing around 1.61 million tons of the goat meat and 8 million tons of the goat milk, which has a lot of importance with respect to the nutritional as well as the medicinal value. But still the things are being moving on. If the business as usual go on, by 2047, we have around 200 million goat. And we are going to produce around 12 million tons of the milk and around 2 million tons of the meat. But the things are being changing. The people are being coming into the sector. We are being hoping that it will be the HIG, high income group will come into it, and the growth rate will be much higher. And we are going to get around 225 million goats within a production of around 3 million tons of the meat and around 20 million tons of the goat milk will be producing. But to achieve these targets, we have a lot of challenges. And the one challenge which I generally consider most important, that is a genetic important. The low productivity of the goats which are being there. India, though having 41 descript breeds are being there in Indian, but still it comprises only 26 to 27% of the total goat population. And there are around 12 to 13% are the improved or the graded goat population is being there. And rest 60% is still being a non-descript, which has a low productivity. And there is a need of a genetic improvement. Only then we can achieve the targets. For the major issue is being that we have many of the breeds, they have a very poor genetic potential are being there, and the uncontrolled and indiscriminate breeding which is being happening throughout the nation. Because generally what's been happening, the farmers are taking the animals for the grazing, or in the flock there is the male is being there which is going for the unwanted mating is happening, and which severely hampers the breeding programs. So moreover, it's also leading to the inbreeding problems are also being there. So it's a point that these type of the nondescript males or the which are not being required, they should be castrated immediately or at a initial age itself. And there is a severe shortage of the quality breeding bucks are also being there. Though India is having around 31 million males are being there, which are being going for 117 million female goats are being there. But still, if you look into the elite bucks which are being required, that's are being still being shortage. And the AI technologies, though they are being existing, but the popularization of the AI or the semen is being still being on a back benches. And even that they require a special training program for the AI. And for this purpose, naturally, until unless the proper training is not being given and the proper doses of the AI is not being provided, so the achievable target of around 60% of the conception rate, that can be achieved only when all the systems are in the line. And until unless that 60% target is not being achieved, the AI will not get popularized. And the goat Kalyan, he is being working on, and he has taken a technical know-how from our institute, and now he's been doing the AI as well as he's being running a semen station also in that area, especially in the Calcutta and other part. So he's been dealing with many of the breeds, amongst them as the Black Bengal is being one of the most important one. And as if the quality bucks are not being used, quality semen is not being used, there is a breed dilution is being happening, and that lead to the limited increase in the productivity. So we have to look into that. The selective breeding can be carried out, and genomic selection especially should be there, and the farmers especially should be trained for the data recording, so that should able to identify the elite bucks at an early age, and others are being there. And those elite bucks, they should be circulated amongst the different clusters, different communities. And basically, we are always stressing that there should be the community breeding program, which can lead to the genetic improvement and at a base level. That's the most important point. Then, so that the participatory genetic improvement can be happening only when we are going to implement the community breeding programs at a base level over there. And though there are the 41 breeds are being there, still the breed of choice for the commercial purposes are being limited because of their economic value or the adaptability which is being happening. Amongst them, the most common one are the Barbary, Sirohi, Beetle, Sojat, Osmanabadi, or the Black Bengal, Jalawadi. These are the breeds which are commonly being used by the farmers, especially for the economic purposes, and others are being there. For this purpose, so we should able to at least identify the best elite bucks. Their list should be available for the farmers. There the selected semen for these candidate breeds should be available. Then we can move on especially to the improvement in the productivity and the genetic improvement programs, and others are being there. And secondly, if you go for the milk line, we have to put up the targets for especially for goat. Goat is always being meant for the meat, not for the milk. And during the COVID period, as the immunity is the buzzword in the COVID, during the COVID, and the goat milk is being known to improve the immunity, and it's being known for many other nutraceutical values and the medicinal value. So that's why the people are being moving towards the goat milk. But still, the market structure is not being available for the goat milk, and we have to develop the goat milk line, and with a target of that at least 3 liter milk per day per goat should be available. And similarly, the broiler goat development, at least 25 kg of the weight should be achieved by 6 months of the age. Until unless these 2 points are not being met, the goat sector will not be changed to the goat industry, which is the most important one. And we are looking forward that the goat sector should change to the goat industry level. And next important issue is always being the health. Health is being our farmers which are being there. We are as already being mentioned, almost 90% of them are being the marginal or the small farmers, which are not aware about even the vaccination programs, and others are being there. They are keeping the very small flock size, and the penetration of our veterinary services or the extension services up to them is a very, very low. And even the awareness amongst those farmers is also being lesser. One small study was being conducted by CIRG. They told that if 1 rupee is being invested on the health aspect, 4 rupees 15 paisa is being gained. So the health aspect is being most important part. And our institution is being working day and night on the different diagnostic techniques, and others are being there. So the point of concern is that going for any of the health aspect, the proper disease diagnosis should be there, and the diagnostic system should be a effective and easily implementable in the field condition, as well as it should be should be economical also, and the prophylactic should be such that it should be long lasting, or the vaccination programs should be adopted for that. And the PPR, as the government of India has been working on the PPR Mukt Bharat by 2030, and for that purpose it can be possible if we have to work on the feed level within a high with a more penetration up to the last stakeholder. And similarly, the goat pox, which is through vaccination, it is being possible, and the estimate shows that the returns in case of the goat max is 1:19 are being there, and a lot of losses are being occurring, because it's being estimates that around 11,000 million rupees is being lost per year on these two diseases. And the government of India has been running the national FMD project also, but in that the goat is not being covered. So whereas around 17 to 18% of the goats, they are being prone for the FMD problems, and others are being there. So I just request that the goat should also be covered in that. We can save a lot of money in that, and it's being always being mentioned that there is a ratio of 1:5 is being there. And the brucellosis and the CCPs are the other diseases which are a bigger issue. And then coming about the nutrition aspect, as we are being expecting that by 2047, only the 20% of the goats are going for the grazing, rest 80% is being coming towards the intensive system or the stall feeding systems. Then naturally the competition for the feed and the fodder is being growing amongst the different livestock species. And so we are being a deficient of the feed and fodder, and competition is going to be more. So we have to look into that, how we can go for how better feeding and the nutritional practices, and especially the precision feeding practices at the right amount of the feed to the right animal at the right age at the right time is the most important one. And so we have to look into all those factors and others. And the next important point is always being the unorganized marketing, which is being happening, and a lot of discussion has been told by the Bihar representative Sonamani, and others are being there. So, but in the end, I just want to place on the record that there is one study has been conducted by CIRG and the National Institute of Agriculture Economics and Policy Research. In that, they have evaluated the impact of the different improved germplasm. Amongst them, the different are being there, like the freeze-wall cattle. They told that the cost-benefit ratio is 1.57 for the freeze-wall cattle. For the Rani pig, it's 1.59, where the Avishan, which is a sheep breed, this is 1.76, whereas in case of the Barbary goat, it is 2.15. And the One Raja, the poultry bird, is being around 3.65 is being there. So there is a lot of scope is being there in that aspect. The farmers are getting attracted, and the CIRG is being doing a lot of work on that, especially on the complete value chain of the goats. And the one of our project, All India Coordinated Research Project, which is being working throughout the nation with 30 units on the 24 breeds out of 41 breeds, and we are being associated with more than 75,000 farmers, and we are being always being providing the farmers around more than 2 lakh of the elite bucks or the animals to the especially the poor or the different communities for their genetic improvement. So we are also being conducting the training programs on a regular basis also. So we are being hopeful that in collaboration with the different organizations which are being present in this hall, including the Harding Hope, the Ashaon Ka Sanchay, and the GIZ, we can do something good for the farmers, and we can convert the poor man's cow into the future animal, and the goat sector to the goat industry. This is my hope. Thank you very much for providing me the space and everything. Thanks a lot.
अगर आपको हमारा ये वीडियो अच्छा लगा तो हमारे YouTube चैनल को सब्सक्राइब करना न भूलें, बेल आइकन भी जरूर दबा दें। इस तरह के वीडियोस को देखने के लिए Facebook और Instagram पेज को भी फॉलो करें।